Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church. Well, here we are in the middle of the very first week of November. It won't be long before Thanksgiving's here. Yeah, I know. Christmas too. And all kinds of good things happen during this time of the year. Now, unfortunately, for a lot of folks, this is a very discouraging time. This is a time when joy and peace isn't what's in their lives. And I hope you're not one of them. But if you're struggling, and if you're wondering, now what? Perhaps this morning the verse I share can help you out a little bit. It comes from Paul's letter to the Corinthians, chapter 15. And I know I mentioned this last week or mentioned something from this book. I'll pick another one here. Chapter 15 and verse 58. So, my dear brothers and sisters, be strong and immovable. Always work enthusiastically for the Lord. For you know that nothing you do for the Lord is ever useless. Well, Paul says at the beginning to be strong and immovable. What does he mean? Well, the strong part we kind of get. The immovable sounds like he's saying be stubborn. And that's not what the word means. That's not the word he's used. To be immovable and strong means to, as they used to say, which you don't hear much anymore, to stay the course. Know where you're headed. Stick to it. Now, I would add a little bit to that cultural idea and say, know where God wants you to head and stick to it. There are a lot of things in my life that I wanted to do, and I never got to. I don't mean go on a zip line or take a trip here or there. I mean jobs, occupations, careers, types of things I wanted to accomplish. And I didn't get there. But you know what? I got to places I never dreamed I would get to. I never in my wildest dreams thought that my journey in life would look like what it has looked. I mean, even if God had told me when I was a youngster, here's what I'm going to do, I couldn't believe it. And looking back, there's some things I really wish could have happened, but that's just me. I'm so thankful for what God has done. And I have tried, though I did not completely succeed, and nor will I ever, nor have you, but I've tried to stay the course, to be immovable. And my guiding principle is to try to do what God wants me to do. And so this verse is saying the same thing. Be strong and immovable. For always work enthusiastic for the Lord. Whatever it is God wants you to do it enthusiastically with some gusto and some vigor and some sense of purpose and excitement. Doesn't matter how big it is, doesn't matter whether you're the one that gets the public credit or not. Whatever you do it enthusiastically for God. Because, it says here, because you know that nothing you do is ever useless. God has all kinds of things for us to do. It could include going out and knocking on people's doors and inviting them to church. It could include, babysitting our grandkids or our neighbors. It could include taking a friend to the doctor or to the pharmacy. It could include spending 5 minutes in prayer for someone that God lays on your heart. It could include writing a card or picking up the phone and just saying to the person, hey, I was thinking about you today. It could be getting out your checkbook and writing a check, maybe bigger than you ever imagined for something that somebody needs. It's endless, the things we do or can do for God. And also, it's endless what He would like for us to do. If you surrendered your life to the Lord, and I know many who listen to me have, you have said to God, I am yours. Show me where to go. And He takes us up on that. He really does. For some of us, as the popular phrase goes, He takes us out of our comfort zone. And we all have some comfort zones. Even moving from a place to where you have little to do is moving out of a comfort zone. You see, we're supposed to know. Know. We're supposed to know that everything we do for God has a plan and a purpose. Now, as you're listening today, perhaps you're wondering, well, what can I do? I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. I can't do this. I can't do that. Kind of reminds me when I was in the hospital last spring, I got a phone call from this guy. Really nice guy. But he's got a lot of struggles in his life. He's got a lot of responsibilities in his life. And he called me up. And here's what he said. I still remember his words. John, I can't do anything. But if you have something you need, just let me know and I'll see if I can help. Well, I appreciated his spirit. I did not call him because I know he's got more than enough on his plate and he didn't have time to do anything else. And I wasn't going to burden him with that. But that attitude and spirit of hey, I can do something for God is one that you and I ought to have and we ought to live. Paul was a perfect example of someone who got changed around. He did. 180 degrees, as they say. And became as fervent for the Lord as he was in prosecuting people who said they were fervent for the Lord. You and I can do whatever God wants us to do. We have the abilities, we have the time, we have the resources, we have the language, we have the education, we have everything we need to do what God wants us to do. And this passage tells us that whatever it is, God is always appreciative. So I hope you'll think about that today. Hope you have a good rest of the week. If you have a prayer concern or a need, just let us know. We'll do whatever we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you have just a great, great day. I'll talk to you again.